is related to web analytics. That is also statistics from a technical point of view, available now due to technical development. The second trend, I told you that we have a shift in the channels. Before, it was like this, that the manufacturers, the one who produced the products, had the power. They made the promotional material, the catalogs, the advertisements. The retail chains or the stores were happy if they could sell Coke. The consumer went to the store, picked a catalog, went back to the living room, sat down in the sofa, had a family meeting, and then discussed what bicycle are we going to buy. And then they made a decision, and then they went back to the store and they bought the bicycle. Today, that is not so. The retail chains, like Prisma for instance, do have the power nowadays, and the manufacturers are losing power. Because the retail chains, they have the hand scanners, and due to the code bars on every product, they can track the consumers, and they do it so well. And customer knowledge is really a key to success in today's business world. So the retail chain knows almost everything about the customers, and the manufacturers does not. That has led to that the retail chain started up their own private brands. You know about private brands. But what private brands did was that it gave the retail chains some serious and good money, and it really stressed the manufacturers. So today, the channel powers has shifted from manufacturers, who is producing the goods, to the retail chains. But now we have a third shift, moving on to the internet. And I told you before that approximately 20% of the retail value in North America and in Europe now has moved over to online sales. In money, it is a lot, depending on what continent you're looking at. But if you're looking at the number from a helicopter perspective, you know that 20% is not much. So online sale will continue. It will become bigger and bigger. It will develop. And the most digital success stories is now related to online sales, not seen in the retail chains or at the manufacturers. This shift towards internet has also led to something unique and something new. And for the first time in modern time, it seems like consumers are gaining power, which is good. And this is due to internet and the information searching processes that they are doing on the internet, and that they talk to each other. The increase in competition. I told you that the 24/7 society and internet has made the competition increase. I told you that. And as a consequence of that, advertising is not enough today. If you make an advertisement, you can be very sure that your competitor is doing this the same. So your advertisement will just disappear. Nobody will look at your message. They won't hear you. This marketeers in the Western world knows about. So now we have a new area of thinking and working. It's called contact point analysis. That means that you really try to be the consumer or your customer. What is she doing? When, where, why, what? Who does she meet? Where does she sit? What does she see? So you are trying to develop and create messages and use new media. So if you know that your customer is passing in a certain subway station every morning, I will stand there and hold up a sign to you so you will not miss me and my message. This is a stupid example, but it is to show you what contact point analysis is about. And when you do your projects, I've seen some of you today working. Please bear this in mind. Think of the consumer and be smart and be creative and think, how can I make my message come through? Is it enough if I only do this and this? Brand extensions. As a result of the increased competition, international big firms has made more and more brands. They are working with brand extensions and flanker brands. This means that, for instance, Lipton's tea, and I will give you an example. I was in a store and I was supposed to buy some tea, and there was Lipton's with 120 facings. I counted because I was so astonished. It was 4 meters wide from floor to ceiling, Lipton's tea. 120 facings in the shelves in the retail store. How on earth is a competitor going to come in there? They're not. And this is strategical work behind the big brand houses in order to make sure that they cut out the competition from the retail stores. And that also leads to that branding and working with flanker brands and brand extensions has become more and more international, and it will become more and more international, and this is a consequence due to increased competition. The fourth trend. I told you about brand parity and the toothpaste, so I'm not going to nag about that again, but bear in mind that the consumers under these conditions will be less and less loyal, and they will shift brands easier and easier. This is bad if you are an established and big company, but it is good if you are a startup company, especially on internet. This brand parity has also led to new tactics in stores. I told you about the Lipton's, the 4 meter, 120 facing. Try to picture that, please. And then you picture a display system, once again with Lipton's something. But that is not enough for Lipton, because Lipton really wants to do a good job. So they do a cooperational branding work with a cookie brand in another aisle, with another display system. So the war in the retail stores are now bigger and bigger than ever, and that will continue. The fifth trend, the consumers and how they get information. We all heard about social media, right? We heard about Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter. But please, I would like to inform you that there are so many other social media groups out on internet. Please bear that in mind. So if you would like to make a product placement, or if you would like to make some kind of advertisement campaign in the social media, be aware of that there are others than Facebook. Facebook is now bigger in North America than Google, seen from a traffic point of view. And Facebook is really catching up here in Europe. And when we talk about advertisements on internet, approximately 80% of the money that is spent on advertisement on internet is actually going to Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn. That is a lot. So in reality, at the moment, when we talk about social media, we mean Facebook. And Facebook do have 2 billion active users at the moment. These social media gatherings, or what we shall call it, they come and go. Do you remember MySpace? How many is on MySpace today? Not so many, huh? If Facebook is going to survive or not, I don't think it's an important question for the day. But the social media thing will most likely continue to be there. If you work with marketing, this is interesting because people are really out there and they do talk to each other. For instance, I'm thinking of buying a new car. Shall I